casual tea with Amon and B. It's a 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 casual tea.
Hello. Welcome to the first casual tea of the new year. I am super excited to be back. I know a lot of you are thinking, now wait a minute. Where's the casual tea? I have gotten several messages, text messages about Bryce. Where are you in Amon? Where y'all coming back? What's happening? But listen, it's a new year. We're back, and I'm so excited to be here with my friend, my brother, Amon Adwin, for our casual tea. Amon, Happy New Year. What's
Hello.
popping?
Happy New Year, everybody. Excited to be back to get some more of this sumptuous tea, baby. It's been a while, and I'm sorry for that. It's mostly my fault. It's not Bryce's fault, but we're here and we're queer and
Okay.
we're ready to go.
Yes. Well, I mean, before we get into our casualty, which is relatively light this time around, but no worries. We have committed to a schedule and we're going to continue to roll out these casualties. But Amon, what has been up with you? The holidays, Thanksgiving, like what you been up to? Your background look new for the posse. Like what's the tea?
Yeah, since the last time y'all saw me, I've moved. I moved into my own place. It's been fun and it's been kind of lonely. I've never lived on my own before, so it's a bit of an adjustment. But I'm learning how to, come up with my own routine, be a little bit more self-sufficient and self-reliant. So I like it on that front. And curating and decorating my own space is a lot of fun. The holidays were good. I went back home to Pittsburgh to see my best friends from home and my godson and spent Thanksgiving with them. It was lovely. And then I went to Baltimore to visit my parents for Christmas. And that was lovely as well. For the first Christmas in a while, I actually wanted something. I feel like I've been so spoiled as a kid and I've been so blessed as a kid to always have everything that I wanted. So like as an adult, I'm like, I don't really want anything anymore, y'all. Like I'm good. Like I just want to spend time with my family. I want to watch movies. I want to eat. I want to drink. I just want to have a good time. But this Christmas is actually, I wanted the new PlayStation Portal for all of you gaming nerds out there. It's basically just like a PlayStation portable version of a PlayStation 5. And my mom got it for me. And that was the only thing I wanted. And it was lovely and it was great. And I use it every day. And I'm rolling into the new year. Really, really excited. I have my podcast with Matt Lagoria, the Diary Room. Check us out over there. And I'm just happy to be back and just living my life and making moves to go back to school. That's another update. I'm going back to school. So that's nerve-wracking, but exciting. And yeah, I'm out here living. I feel good.
Yes, I love that. And going back to school, you can pause those student loans while you're in school.
Listen, like just not having to pay that something every freaking month is gonna feel so good. I cannot wait for that. And the best part is like I think I'm going to be able to retain my full time as I go to school, so I can pay for school as I'm going through it instead of having to go into more debt. So God is good. I'm blessed and I'm
Yes.
really happy.
Yes, it's funny that you brought up like wanting something for Christmas. I find that I was as well. I was the youngest child. I was my mom's youngest child. So for Christmas, the holiday is always like very so special to me and I love it. And I always wanted big elaborate things. Well, not big elaborate things. I think when I was like growing up, like I would want like a karaoke machine, right? The one that had like the TV and the stuff. And I would always get like the big ticket items or allegedly big ticket items. But it's funny because like nowadays it's like my mom's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't know. And so I think at not Thanksgiving, maybe before Thanksgiving, maybe around Halloween, my mom was like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, a computer. But I didn't really want a computer. I was just like saying a computer. And it was like, it became this like stressful situation because here's my mom literally like trying to surprise me. First of all, it's like, oh, like I'm still 11 years old. And one of my friends reaches out to me and it's like, your mom's trying to get you a iBook or iMac. I'm like, what? And
Spoiled it.
like, And then like they're asking me all of these questions. They're like, well, we know you podcast, we know you edit, like, and the one your mom's looking at is like $3,000. I'm like,
Woo!
$3,000.
Just give me the money at that point.
First of all, I was like, wait a minute, that's the budget? Because if that's the budget, but it's like and it was funny because I was telling my friend, like, when I said that to my mom, it's like I work. So, like, I am like in the community. I go to the office, but I also have like a work computer that is at home with me. And then I have like my podcast computer. And I think when I was like saying that to my mom, it's like I don't necessarily have a computer to say pay bills, to say like surf the internet, to like shop. I do everything on my phone. So when I was saying that around Halloween, I was girl talking about a $400 computer at Sam's Club. Like,
I didn't even know Sam's Club sold computers.
Yes. Okay. Like, I just, I wanted me a little cheap something. And I'm a PC girly. And so eventually I do want to make the transition to Mac. But I'm like, I do not want my mom to invest. But then the drama comes where she's reaching out to like my good friends, and I'm like kind of putting it off because I'm like on tour with Wendell. Like, I'm like, I'm not thinking about it. And I'm telling my friend what I'm telling you, like, I just want a little cheap computer. Like, I don't want. And my friend is like, no, your mom is talking to one of her coworkers and they're saying you need this and this. And they're like, if you really don't want it, you need to like tell your mom. And so then I had to have this conversation where I'm like, Mom, I don't really need a computer. And then Amon, it flips because now my mom is mad at me because she's like, I'm trying to do this nice thing for you. And she's like, it's not about the money. And I'm like, well, so then it's like, so then there was a period of time where I was like going along with it. Like, okay, well, I'll go to the Apple store and take a look. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I don't need it like at all. And so my mom's like really mad. And so she's like, well, what can I get you? I'm like, well, I need some new running shoes. So it just was funny how like the gift of giving like turns into this thing. But I just, I love the holidays and Black families because say this about Black families, okay? I don't know where the money comes from because the rest of the 11 months throughout the year, we don't have money. We broke, okay? We robbing Peter to pay Paul. But when it comes to Christmas and Black families specifically, a Black mother and their children,
living in abundance,
they will make it happen.
Yeah, my mom is very much the same way. She always wants. Like, she wants, when we walk downstairs to look under the tree, she wants it to look like we made out. Like, she wants like that big, just abundance of presents. And yeah, it's so funny that you told that story about your mom getting upset with you about not wanting her to spend so much money, because my mom actually did that to my dad one year. It was like it was like the year before she had lost her job, unfortunately. Like, the grant that was funding her lab or whatever went under. And so she was just, feeling very discouraged because she was unemployed at the time. And, the holidays roll around, and of course there's a little bit less money to spend on gifts. And she really, really, at that time, she really wanted the new iPod Touch that was out. And my dad got it for her. And she opened the box, or she unwrapped it, but she refused to open it. She's like, no, you need to take this back. Like, I can't believe you bought this. I can't believe you spent this money on this. And my dad is like, Lee, like, Merry Christmas.
Right.
She just would not take it. Eventually, she went ahead and opened it up, but she felt so guilty. But like, that's just what we do. That's family. You want people to feel good. You want people to remember their holidays. And I love that.
So I also, speaking of iPods, when that iPod Nano came out, you could not tell me nothing in school. Little circle button. Like, I miss those days. And it's like, now that essentially the iPod is your phone, you don't really need it. But I really think that Apple should come out with like a retro iPod, because I think
it would sell out.
First of all, I looked on eBay. People still selling iPods on eBay.
They are
like $400. Like, bish, where? But like, I really do think there is something to having a device that is almost like, now I don't want to age myself, but like a Walkman or a Discman. Like it's something about that. It's like solely for music and
Yep.
music only. And it's like, like you can go when you're going running or just having it where you can escape. If they were to come out with that, I absolutely would have to buy me a old iPod. My
Hmm.
iPod is here somewhere. I really want to charge it up and just
Yeah.
see the songs that I have on it because
I have my old iPod Touch somewhere like upstairs, and yeah, I agree with you. It's like there's just something magical about just having a device that is solely meant for one thing. There's no bells and whistles. It's just that thing. You know what you're getting. It's very simple. It's very utilitarian. It's just yes. Yeah. I always wanted an iPod, like one of the classic like brick shaped iPod videos because I never got one as a kid. My first iPod was an iPod Touch, and then shortly afterwards I got an iPhone. So I just never really had like an iPod for a very long amount of time. But if they came out with a refurbished one, I would buy it in a heartbeat for sure. For
it's
sure.
funny because when I went to Survivor, and like they were telling us some of the things that we could bring during like the pregame.
Mhm.
And they was like, a Walkman or something. I definitely brought my iPod with me. And I remember them having to like check it to ensure that like it didn't have I'm like, no, it's an old one. Don't worry about it. But like
Mm.
I remember them like checking it to see like if they could get online. I'm like,
Mm.
I ain't going, I ain't doing all of this for no iPod, but like so. But it's funny
They
to
wanted
think
to
that
make
like
sure
that.
you wasn't cheating. Mm.
Which I should have. Okay. But it's just funny because that's actually the last time I used my iPod. Was
Wow.
when I was out there on Survivor for that very short period of time. But we have a nice array, a menu of topics to get into. But before we get into it, before we started recording, I had just finished episode 3 of season 3 of The Traders. And I hate to admit, this is my first time actually watching Traders.
Really?
I've seen clips, and normally I'm a little lazy. I listen to podcasts or I will watch like on TikTok people reviewing it. But I have to
Mhm.
say, um, this season is delicious. And shout out to Bob the drag queen because
Yeah.
Bob the drag queen is running the girls. I like seeing how well Bob is doing. And I don't know. Maybe for me, it is normally in these reality TV shows, specifically queer people, specifically like Black queer men. We don't always do well on these shows. We get like othered or we're immediate threat or we don't always speak up how we should speak up. It is just the way that Bob is gathering the girls and almost in my opinion a little too much. Like, Bob, sit down. You don't you and Danielle, y'all is doing too
Going
much.
a little too much. They could both shut up a little bit. Like he's really giving it. He's giving it his all. But what's his face? Dylan is on to him. He's like, look at you. Like you're running the table right now. Like you are all of the things that would make somebody a good trader. You possess all of those traits. And it's making me scared. So I don't know if he'll make it to the end, but bitch, I'm gonna ride the ride. I'm gonna
Okay.
love every single minute of it. And there's something interesting about like watching people that are sort of like fresh and new to these types of games because as y'all know, they gather reality television stars that aren't necessarily in the Big Brother or the Challenge or Survivor space, and so it's always fun to watch people that don't come from that environment and that background try their hand at it. And I feel like there's like a little bit of um, beginner's naivete with Bob, but also it works because I feel like he's less cerebral than
Mm-hmm.
some of the people that we're more familiar with are, and so that really grants him a lot more space to just try anything and just throw things to the wall and see what sticks. Whereas someone else might be a little bit more reserved and a little bit more calculated. So it's fantastic television. He is a delicious instigator. I cannot
Yeah.
get enough of it. And like I was just talking to Bryce the other day because I was like, because I take your point so much about how Black queer men, it can be a bit rough. And like I was thinking about it as I was rewatching Bryce's season. I was like, hold on. Bryce was the first openly black gay man to play Survivor, and that was season 28. And it's been 10 years, and we've had what, two more? So out of the 25-year history of this show, only 3 out of what, like 1,000 people that have been on? That to me, I can't. It's just what's going on. So again, it's nice to see somebody like Bob running the table.
It is. And I listened to him and Monet, their podcast. And I remember when Bob came back from the Traders. I also think what gives Bob a leg up on Traders is that he said to Monet, like, he was like, I thought I was supposed to be on here with celebrities. He was like, I didn't know any of these people. And I think that kind of gives him a leg up where sometimes when you do know who people are, it kind of like puts this thing in your mind where you're like, oh, I got to watch out for you. But instead, when people are just people and you can just serve and get to know people and read the room, I think it helps a lot. But one more thing, because I do think Bob is doing a lot, and the Jonas Brothers, whoever who was on to him, I think what is interesting though is because I really do, from all of I know of Bob the drag queen, if Bob was a traitor or not, I still feel like Bob would be giving this energy that he's giving that would make us believe that he's a traitor or not. But regardless to say, this is my first time like being locked in to the Traders. And if you haven't watched the Traders, I definitely think you should do yourself the favor, because I was surprised. Like I was like, ugh, here we go. Obviously, I got to support because from my season, Tony's on there. And you know, third boots aren't that bad, huh? But you know, Jeremy, Robin Dixon, Dorinda, like the housewives, I was like, I know a lot. I was like, damn it, I didn't met more than half of these people in this house. Like, I need to watch this. But I was pleasantly surprised. I see why it has won an Emmy. The only thing, and I don't want to spend too much time on the Traders, but I literally just turned it off before we press record. I don't know. I don't know if I love this about the Traders or I don't like this about the Trader. I like the fact that it reminds me of Squid Games a little bit, in the sense of like it's almost like a show within a reality show, if you know what I mean, like the theatrics of it all and the different things. I don't have a pulse on whether I like it or whether it annoys me. Like I feel like it's like just run it like a show, but then it's like I do like I think the theatrics in my mind, I want to say I like it, but sometimes I'm like, okay, we don't need to do all of it. Like, just get to the point.
I was thinking about that too, and I've fallen on the side that I love it. I love how campy it is. I think it only works if the cast is willing to go with it. If the cast is in on the joke, like I think it leans into the territory of being cheesy when people are sort of like being too overly dramatic. But like if you're on the show and the producers are telling you, like, you know, just go with it, have a good time, like feel the fantasy. It really just it really helps with immersing me in the environment of Traders, and it gives it like a different tone than other reality competition shows. Like it gives it like a bit of a it's a show, you know what I mean? It leans into being a show, and that's good. That's good. Like you want it to be, of course you want the strategy, you want all that, but you want it also to be a show. And I think it's fun to watch certain people that aren't really like that try to get into it, you know? So it's fun. And it's so funny because I think it was also Dylan, or maybe it was Tom Stand-Up, I forget which one it was, that was like they were talking to Jeremy and Tony, and they were just like, oh my God, like already, like y'all are already like
right, the survivors, right?
Let's
like,
just get ready to fuck somebody over. I'm like, yep,
that's
what it is.
Like, that's what they're trained for. Yeah. So I'm still on haven't figured it out. I do enjoy it, but like some scenes and some parts, I'm just like, but I do enjoy it. But okay, so let's get into some of our tea topics. You know, January 19th is coming up, and people don't believe it to be true, but it is looking like the ban on TikTok is happening. I'm confused because they're still hearing arguments in the case about national security and freedom of speech, where they are saying that China owns this company TikTok and it poses a threat to our national security. However, China is saying it's restricting the speech of the American people. The over 170 million TikTok viewers, downloaders that they have.
Mhm.
I don't even really know how to get into this case, what is happening. I know that they said it a long time ago, and now there is still a potential that it could not be banned. I know that if the company were to sell to an American company, then we will be
Mhm.
able to keep it. But I thought months ago that it had already been decided. Then earlier this week, they were hearing opening arguments. So it is crazy, and I will have to say that when TikTok was first called Musically, then it turned into
Mhm.
TikTok. I'm like, I ain't never getting into TikTok. Listen, it's too much. I'm too old. I don't got time. But baby, I spend most of my time, most of my day on the TikTok. I enjoy it. I feel like as a viewer and a consumer of social media content, there's just something about a TikTok scroll that is different than watching a YouTube video, than is watching an Instagram reel, than is on Facebook. There is just something more
Yeah.
ugh. And I do understand the national security threat of our data and information in a foreign adversary. However, I feel like during the election time, my phone was blowing the hell up. I was getting text messages, I'm getting calls. My data is always
Mm.
being hacked. Okay. I have a parcel that has been waiting for months for me to claim. And so I don't necessarily understand it, but it does very much, in my opinion, give that. Yeah, I think that China does have access to some of the information, being that they own the company. But I think that, like, the weapons of mass destruction, where's the proof? They still have not come forth with any proof that what they are saying China is doing with this information, or has come forward. And so, like, that for me is like, so y'all just creating a RICO case, right? Like, y'all just saying what something could be and moving forward. Like, that's the only thing that really gets me, is that, like, everything that you're saying, and sure, I can understand, but where the proof? Like, you don't got no proof to say, like, we have this has been done. Like, I don't know.
It's definitely a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, and I don't think that many of us really know the specifics of it. I mean, it's no secret that like America and China have been like beefing for quite some time now, and it's like real passive aggressive beefing. It's like, oh well, I'm not going to accept this import from you guys. Oh, okay, well then we're not going to send this over to you guys. Okay, well it's like a shade war between two old queens, and one of them just wants to be the supreme, and neither one is backing down. That's what I feel like me like that China and us we're just like we're beefing all the time, and I feel like yes, TikTok is a lot of engagement on that app. A lot of people use that app. Almost half the country uses the app. And sure, it has access to a lot of information on your phone. It'll know your phone number, it'll know your algorithm, it'll know what types of things to sell to you, what things are going to appeal to you. Like, so is it a little bit unnerving for China to be able to use that data for negative things? Yeah, sure. Like I mean, I don't know how much how much information they're getting off of me for liking to watch people cook and liking to watch people dance on TikTok, but like I guess it's a threat. So I can understand why the government is like, we might need to unless we make a few changes, we might need to shut this down for a little bit. And who's to say it won't come back after it does get shut down, you know?
Right. But here's my question. Who owns Instagram?
Google.
That's and who owns Google? Who owns Meta? Facebook. Isn't that an American-based company?
Yes. I believe so. Yeah, right? Yeah. I believe so. Let me look it up. Let's Google it.
Okay, come on. Oh, okay, okay.
um,
Be-
yes, Google is an American company. It was founded in California in 1998 by Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Google is now a subsidiary of Alphabet Inc., another American company.
well, it seems to me that doesn't half the world use Instagram, Facebook, Meta? It seems to me, like you said, a pissing match. It seems to me that another country is able to hack or to like you. It just seems like a because if all of the things that they are saying about TikTok in America, they use Instagram in China.
Mhm.
They have a Facebook. So does that mean we are privy to all of their information as well? Does it mean that does it mean that we're looking at it as if like they are making an advancement on the information that we have on everybody else and we're the only ones that can have like I don't know. That's just that's how my mind thinks. I don't know enough to know.
Mhm.
But it does make an interesting point. I do worry about a lot of the creators because the one thing that I do hear is that the TikTok influencer, whatever program, they cut checks and they say they cut checks not like YouTube, not like Instagram. They really cut the checks. However, I do want to say this though, because what I have been tired of seeing on my timeline is people being like, I don't know what I'm gonna do after January 19th.
You'll be moving
Listen,
on to whatever's next, is what you'll be
but
doing.
baby, the app will still be on your phone. You'll still be able to scroll. It will no longer be in the Apple store or your Android store. You won't be able to download it. You'll still be able to scroll. What will eventually happen is that like they won't be able to put out updates that can correct bugs and different things. And so slowly but surely TikTok will kind of be like your iPhone when they create a new iPhone, then all of a sudden you like, why is my iPhone
Mhm.
acting slow? It just was so soon. After a while, it will become obsolete because they won't be able to send us the updates. But breathe. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. It'll still be on your phone. You can still scroll.
And you'll move on like we always move on. There's always something new that comes to the table. Like nothing lasts forever. I will be interested to see just how much the music industry gets changed because of it, because TikTok is such a huge player in today's popular music. And without that platform for many smaller artists and even bigger artists to proliferate their stuff, like I really wonder, okay, so where do they go? Is it all on Instagram now? Is it Instagram Reels? Does it cause like a major recession back into like how music used to be propagated? So I'm very interested to see all the effects that it has on entertainment in general, because it's been such a huge thing for a lot of industries. So it'll be
I
interesting.
I feel like it's still going to be as prominent. It's just not going to be here. We are not the only like what I'm saying, like there's a world outside of the US, so like I still feel like it will be important to just us as Americans. We gonna be hurt, I'm gonna be hurt, but I am hoping that something will happen. But the way that it is giving the information that I have read this week, China, it don't look like China is going to sell to an American
Mm-mm.
company.
No.
So I definitely think it might be.
Both the US and China are extremely imperialistic, right? Like we like to have eyes and ears everywhere. We like to colonize. We like to have little camps for ourselves all over the world, and we say that it's in the name of democracy. It's in the name of the human spirit and all that, which I can agree with. And yes, there are a lot of political differences between us and China. China's a little bit more on the bitch get down, shut up and do what I say to its citizens,
Well, that's where
which
we headed.
us as America does not like, even though y'all have handed the presidency to someone who is
Mm,
couldn't be more happy to usher that kind of regime in.
mm.
But you know, I, it definitely feels like this is like we're gonna go to bat, we're gonna go to war, and all of a sudden China or Trump is saying, oh, well, because he tried to get rid of TikTok back when he was president the first time, and now all of a sudden he's changing his tune, saying that he's going to try to save it. It's like, why? Why the switch up? What's going
Mm.
on? It's just the whole thing is just very, very, very strange, and I feel like we're just all a captive audience just watching it happen with nothing to do.
Right. And where we gonna scroll at. But we'll keep you updated. when new information comes out. And then to on to a travesty, a devasty, something horrific in our country's history, the wildfires of LA. They broke out
Yeah.
January 11th. They have burned approximately 30,000 acres. And has consumed over 21,000 acres. Just communities, schools, homes, memories have been devastated. I believe at this point in time, there's only 11 fatalities, which thank God
Yeah.
it's not higher, but it has just been crazy. 200,000 residents had to evacuate. Just the images
Yeah.
that we have been seeing these last days of people evacuating, people returning to literally ash, people being ordered to evacuate. They're on the roads. The fire is coming so close that the fire department is saying, get out of your car and run to the beach. Like, it is so crazy. It is so devastating. Um, I just don't have words. Like, it's just like when I say my thoughts, my prayers. Um, we have so much going on in this world, so much in this country. Oh, I didn't vote for this, I didn't vote for that. Like, when I say now it's time for us to come together, now it's time for us to like be a united front. It is just I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine getting a
Yeah.
message on my phone saying to evacuate. And then my question is, where? Where are these 20,000 people go? Like, it has just been so crazy.
I mean, even the Hollywood sign was getting singed. It's like it's I mean, and we've seen this happen before too. This is the worst one I think in recorded history for California. Um, but we've seen, like, I think it happened a few years back in Malibu. Um, like people were like driving along the freeway, and it looked like just a volcano had gone off, just like flame everywhere. Lots of celebrities lost their houses. I think Miley Cyrus, she said she'd lost everything and had to rebuild, which is causing a lot of interesting conversation online about like how much sympathy can we extend towards celebrities when they have the money to replace a lot of stuff and your normal average working Joe doesn't. But then again, the average income for a lot of people, that it's people are they're going at it with each
Mhm.
other. They're going at it with each other in the comments. And I like what you said. It's kind of just like, bitch, it's on fire. Like, can we all just calm down and just like try to help each other through this? Because you're burning, I'm burning. Like,
Right.
it is what it
Yeah.
is.
They can have the millions of dollars to rebuild, but memories, right? Like we just were talking about Christmas. I've seen communities where people have been in their homes for 47 years. Think about how many Christmases, think about how many Thanksgiving memories, thinking about like just it's just it's more than that. It's more than material things. It's just crazy. I couldn't imagine. To come back to something. I couldn't imagine being forced to leave. I couldn't imagine like,
Mhm.
and there was just again so many. I'm on TikTok, like because first of all, that's where I get my news. That's where like I'm seeing things on the news, but I'm seeing in real time. I'm seeing some of these dumb streamers who live where it's being burnt and they in their house getting their hair cut. Like it, like
Uh, I did not know
it,
that was happening. That's so sad. What are you
it,
doing?
it is crazy. Um, and when it hits home, it really hits home. And the firefighters that have
Mhm.
risked their lives. And I don't think we give enough credit to firefighters, right? Like these are first responders. When we are running out, they are running in.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. There is a fund that my friend Desi, I believe it's like the LA firefight, something that you can donate to the firefighters in Los Angeles that I have donated to, where you can please help. It's just so crazy. And I think there was like Google Shutter, or it was a photo place. And I don't know why when I was reading it, I got emotional, but it's like one of those online places that you can like send your photos to and they'll print it out. They had made this
Gotcha.
statement that essentially was like anyone in the LA County for the next however long, you can send us your photos and we will print them out and replace them for free. I know that
Oh, I
doesn't
love
do a
that.
lot, but
But
for
it's
me,
something.
I was like that's beautiful. It's just crazy if you
It's just like another reminder as to like how we have very little power over Mother Nature, and they're still trying to figure out what caused it.
well
They haven't been able to rule out arson. They also have not been able yet to rule out the fact that it was caused by electrical lines. We don't know. They know that it wasn't lightning, which is a very common cause for fires like this. They know that it was not lightning because there was no. Mm-mm. So it was either electrical lines at fault or
well, and also it's now I can't say it right. The
Palisades.
Palisades, right? That's the biggest one. But let's also keep in mind that that's not the only one that has, there's like 7, 8, 9 of them that have broken out and have
Mhm,
wrecked communities and different things.
mhm.
And I do know the one that was by like Runyon Canyon that did break out. I do believe that one was arson and they did catch somebody or they caught somebody. But like, yeah, it's crazy. And I've
It's
seen a
it's
lot
wild.
of people on the TikTok and talking about stuff and they believe I'm listening to the people that was in LA. They believe that somebody set this on fire, and that's just crazy. Another thing that is very interesting, Governor, is it Newsom? Governor, the governor of
Gavin Newsom.
LA, Gavin Newsom, has come under fire. There's a lot of people asking different things. I don't know, but I do know that I can't park in front of a fire hydrant because in an event of an emergency, they need to have access and you get fined $50 for doing that.
Mm.
Who do we find or can we talk about how there is no water to get to the fire? Like now that is something that's like now what's going on here?
And they're saying like that even if there were water, there would not be pardon me, there would not be enough water in the entire state of California to have handled this fire. Um, which is probably true, but the fact that there isn't even the fact that it dried up that quickly, I'm like, this is crazy. Like y'all are in California, it's so funny because I was just talking about like when a couple years back, like 10 years ago almost, when the South got hit with some snow for the first time in like decades. Like Atlanta had to shut their whole city down because of 3 inches, and we're up here like, are y'all serious?
Right.
But they deal with it so little that it to them it's just like, why the hell would we have a bunch of salt on standby? Like we're gonna put the money to something else. But with California, y'all know that y'all are prone to droughts. You know that you're prone to fires. So it's just to me, it just feels so strange that we can't. There is no system in place to handle this, or at least to not let it get as bad as it did. Like I know that sometimes fires are just too big that you just have to let them burn out. That
Right.
that happens, but to not even be able to quell a bit of it or contain it in some way is just oh, it's very eye opening. It really
Then I
is.
read somewhere that it was like 60 or 70% of the state of California's water is owned privately by this company, like the wonderful company, and that couple. Like, I'm like, how, like, what?
They need to do a class action lawsuit. Everybody in California need to sue their asses.
Okay. And I also do want to take the time to say that I have read and I have seen Mexico that has sent their firefighters, that have sent helicopters and the water droughing planes to LA. Shout out to Mexico. And I
Mhm.
definitely don't think that we're talking about that enough because I feel like when we talk about Mexico in this country, it's build a wall or you're not from here or go back. Like, we're always seeing some racist ish
Mhm.
about people talking about Mexico. But rest assured, when we are in dire need, when we don't have water, we see who is coming to our rescue. And also shout out to Canada. And I just say that to say that because you know what, in the news, there's been some back and forth between Canada and the US, Mexico and the US. But yet when we are on fire, they are coming and delivering water. Also, I think I
Mhm.
think 30% of the firefighters that are currently fighting fires are incarcerated inmates,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
and
Wow,
they getting paid $5.
$5, five
Okay.
dollars.
Okay. Because you know that the new slavery is in the incarceration system. And so that these inmates don't have to work for fair labor. So I'm just saying that, like, we have people that we deem criminal, can't get jobs. Once you're a felon, you can't do nothing. But I mean, I guess our president can be, but listen, well, that's a different story but I'm just saying that, like, this again, just with all of this, that is like, when we talk about prison reform and we see the people on the front line, I just think that it does raise a different type of conversation. And so again, I'm not taking away from what is happening, the families, the people, the children, the schools, the communities that have been affected. But like, when we do look at this, it is crazy to think that, like, you have some firefighters out here that are incarcerated, and even while they are helping us and doing all of this, they're still going to go back to jail, and they're not even going to be properly compensated.
Mhm.
It's
It's I don't know. Like I don't pretend to be a city planner or anything like that, an environmentalist, construction worker, stuff like that. But it feels to me like when they start to go to rebuild, there has to be something put in place where I don't know, pass a law. I don't know, pass a law in California where buildings need to be constructed with the possibility of wildfire in mind.
but
It's
okay.
kind of like how like a lot of homes in Florida are one story because of the propensity for hurricanes and water damage. Why can't we do something like that in California?
How now, this wasn't on the T, but again, like I said, I've been on the TikTok. I've been on the internet listening and reading people's blogs and their stories. There was this one family that I specifically read this story of. I think they are 92 years old. They had been in their house for 57 years. They said that 2 weeks ago, before the fires had happened, their fire insurance dropped them. They had been with the same insurance company since they've been in the house, and their fire insurance dropped them. I've also heard of people wanting to buy homes, and they're unable to secure fire insurance because this whole fire insurance industry is so hard. It's so, like,
Huh.
that's another industry that, I mean, again, this don't have nothing to do with nothing, but like, insurance in general is very sus.
They want you to pay them, but they don't want to pay for your stuff.
Cause I'm
Ain't that
confused. I'm
backwards?
God, I'm blessed. I've never been in a car accident since I've had my car. Why my policy keep going up?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just insurance in general. Just, I kind of look at it a little sus. Like, what? Same things be happening in Florida with these people buying these homes with the hurricanes. They can't get flood insurance. But you have to have flood insurance. And then when you have flood insurance, they don't want to pay you the value of your home. But you getting all these people's money. Like, okay, listen. Not to get away from the fires in LA. And again, prayers, thoughts, donate, help if you can, support. But
Mm-hmm.
it just, again, it raises this level of that I always say, like, we think we think we are this such evolved nation. We're the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can't nothing touch us. But it seems like when we are tapped, because let's be clear, when we are tapped, it seems like we just crumble,
We're just
and it
running
just
around like
mm,
chickens with our head cut off. COVID happens, the whole like we don't know what to do, and it feels like we still haven't really learned our lesson. Like, yeah, we have like we have those vaccines that we're able to come up with quickly, but like, what happens when the next thing
mm,
happens? Did we put anything in place
mm,
to? Are there any safety measures, any safeguards? I don't think so. And like, would you try to prepare and then you get screwed over by the people that you're paying to help you get prepared for things? Like, I'm not saying
mm,
that it was right, but it makes you wonder, like, maybe that's why Luigi Mangione did what he did.
mm,
Like, it's just like,
mm, mm,
mm-hmm.
mm. Remember when Texas a couple years ago they got that ice storm? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just say to say that we the greatest, we're the
And
best.
Ted
Like,
Cruz's ass was
uh,
like going on vacation somewhere.
also
They
shout
caught
out to
his
his
ass in the airport.
shout out to his daughter though. Okay, that young daughter. If you know, you know. Shout out to that queen.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "That's
Mm-hmm.
my father, not me." But yeah, if you are affected, if you know anyone that's affected, please do what you can to support. We are, despite our differences, we are a community of the human race. And at any given time, anything can happen to any one of us, to a family member. And I think that it's important that there will be a time to point the finger, but right now isn't the time. The time is to pull our boots up and to help our neighbors, help our
Yes.
families, help our friends. Um, yeah. So,
In any way you can, baby.
yes. Then we got this Blake Lively situation. Now,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I did not know that Blake Lively was not well liked right now. I didn't know that that was like a thing, but apparently she has a bit of a reputation for not being the best to work with. But with that being said, you know, long story short, she's in this new movie called It Ends With Us, which does follow the story of a woman that is going through a bit of a domestic violence situation. But during the press tour for this film, when people would try to lean into that narrative and ask her about, what that was like, she kind of brushed it aside and saying, "Oh, that's not really her story. That's not really what this is about. This is a fun rom-com. Oh, and by the way, go and see my husband's movie too. He's in Deadpool 3." So a lot of people were like, "This is very tone deaf." Um, this movie, because when you go to see the movie, it's very much filled with domestic violence. And the fact that she tried to downplay it so much and say that it really is like a small part of her story, which I can understand. It's like no woman or man or anybody that's going through domestic violence situations, that doesn't define who they are. So I understand that, but it's also like, girl, let's talk about the subject matter and give credence to the subject matter that the movie has. And for you to then try to use your press tour as an extended press tour for Deadpool 3, it's like the whole thing, which is very, very off. But on top of that, the director Justin Baldoni, and co-star, uh, apparently she's alleging that he made the work environment very, very uncomfortable. There were a couple of intimate scenes that they had to film together where she felt like kisses were lasting for too long. She felt like it just was a very unsafe environment to be in. So she is suing him. He is now countersuing her for saying that she is deliberately trying to tank the movie, deliberately trying to sour his name in the industry, and it's getting really, really, really nasty and messy. Very much so.
yeah, it's crazy that like this Netflix show is about abuse, and here we are with this lawsuit, and like, her alleging he's sharing his porn addiction with her randomly throughout the times that they are filming,
Yeah.
showing naked photos of women. And mind you, like he also is a producer on
Mhm.
this, and it is
And
his
as is she.
production.
Hmm.
And but I believe it's his production company that is the head production company of it. Like, then alleging that during one of the scenes where she has clearly said like she doesn't want to be naked, he's suggesting that she be topless. They only like just yeah, it's getting crazy, but he's fired back. And I don't think he sued her. I think that he sued like the New York Times or whatever publication that filed this.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just also feel like because both sides. I also feel like a lot of people are using the fact of like what you said about how like when this was coming out, she didn't want to talk about the abuse and she was using this to promote her husband Deadpool. I do believe two things could be true at the same time, right? I
Right.
do believe that you could
Right.
be like, girl, what is you doing? This is about abuse. Stay on topic. And I also feel like you could be a victim of abuse.
Mhm.
I also
Mhm.
feel like that Blake has a right to clear his name.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I
I feel like the more information that we get, that's gonna help me sort of like figure out like how I feel about the whole thing because you're right. Like two things can be true, and I think that people need to remind themselves of that. That maybe Blake Lively isn't the best person to work with. Maybe she tends to make things about herself, all that, any kind of negative thing that you can come up with. Maybe those things are true, but that also doesn't mean that she should be made to feel uncomfortable at work. Like this is her job.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And this is something that she's also put money into as a co-producer of the film. But then again, it's also like just because you're a producer doesn't mean that you can go around and uh,
Abuse your power.
your power, make edited cuts of the film that were not approved by the director. Like, you're not the director, sweetie. If you want to be the director, then be the director. But you're a producer, you're an actress. That's not what your role is. So you shouldn't be going around getting the film chopped up in different ways and then bringing it back to the production company. And then without Baldoni knowing, like, this whole thing just feels really, really, really messy. And I feel like it's going to get even worse as time goes on. And I'm just like, Happy New Year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. And when you sent that to me, I mean, I had saw this, but I wasn't really checking for it. But then when I was like, let me do a little digging, I was like, yeah, this is crazy. And again, I what I thought was funny, because I always feel like now this is just my barometer of like society. It's like when I Google, because first I have to Google, figure out what's going on. Then you know me, I gotta dig into the comments. I gotta go to a Reddit. I gotta go to X. I gotta go to Blue Sky. And what I found kind of crazy was that like the majority of, because for me it's like, okay, I care about the facts, but like I want to see what the public sentiment is.
Mhm.
And it's like on every platform that I went to, I saw negative comments about her first. And
Mm.
that also is what, yeah. And then, they're alleging these public smear campaign. Like, yeah, just,
Yeah.
mm,
It
I
feels
don't
like a
know.
nasty divorce and they're not even
Right.
married. Like, good luck to everyone involved.
Okay.
That's
Mm.
all I can
And,
say.
but
And
I
they were
will,
noticeably absent from the Golden Globes. They didn't
that
show up, neither her nor her husband. So they
they
might be
didn't.
going to
But
Manhattan.
we did have the Golden Globes recently.
We did. We did. We did. It was cute. It was a nice little ceremony. I thought that Nikki Glazer killed it as the host. She's so funny. She always rides that line between like too much, but just enough to like dig into. She's just the master of learning how to roast, but roast slowly and evenly. And she was just a fantastic host. I'm gonna be honest, I really haven't seen a lot of the TVs and films this past year. So like as far as like my opinions were on who should have won, who should have lost, they don't really mean much. I mean, the only big movie that I saw last year that was like in talks was Wicked. Did you see Wicked?
I didn't see Wicked yet.
You
I
haven't
know.
seen Wicked? Oh, you have to see it. It's so good. It's so
I know. I was going to see it. But I don't think I realized like how popular it was because I was going to take my niece. And when I went to
popular.
go buy the tickets,
It was
child,
so
they were
hot.
sold out. I was like,
Woo!
okay. I was like, okay, we gonna have to we'll wait until it's available. And mind you, the movie industry again just has changed because like you can now rent it on the TV. And so that's what I
Yeah.
am going to be doing next weekend with my niece, because unfortunately Uncle Bryce is a little bad and didn't jump on it. But I only heard rave reviews about Wicked, and so I'm excited to
Do you know
see.
anything about it? Do you know what it's about? Have you seen the movie,
I
the
do
musical?
know.
Okay.
So I mean, well, first of all, I do know it is a play off of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
do know that Luther Vandross wrote a lot of the music to the musical Oz. And if you haven't seen that, Luther Vandross, oh my God, I'm out. I didn't even get to talk. This is a random conversation. Hold on, wait. Amon, I need for you to watch the Luther Vandross documentary.
When did that come out?
So it came out like the day after Christmas, and I don't really want to talk about it too much here because I really want to do a specific pod about Luther Vandross in this documentary. But Aman, please, we talk about blackness, we talk about queer black people, we talk about representation, and although Luther Vandross was not publicly out, I just feel like this documentary, Never Too Much, about Luther Vandross was so powerful, so touching, so amazing. Please, if you are listening and if you have
Mm-hmm.
grew up with Luther in your ear from your parents or somebody, please, because Luther was amazing. Okay. That being said, you
Okay.
need to watch that. I do know it is about the Wicked Witch, but it's about like the story of how the evil witch became evil.
There you go. That's all you
And then
need
I
to know.
also know that like the good witch, is she really good? Okay.
Okay. Okay. You know a little something, something.
So I
I'm
know a little
excited for you.
something. I know a little something. I keep my ears to the streets. Now, mind you, it's my thing is like when I was like looking at after the Golden Globes had happened, I'm like, well, why is the biggest like first of all, Demi Moore, she won.
She did.
And I'm like, yes. But I'm like, why when I'm Googling, because I like to watch the clips. I'm weird. Don't get me wrong. I like with award shows when big people that like I like to go find the clip and I like to like see the actual like 5 minutes of them playing the films before it. I like to see the camera. I'm weird like that. But
Mm-hmm.
why when I'm Googling to find my little moments that I could just, key about, why is the biggest thing that Demi Moore snubbed Kylie Jenner?
I saw that too. That was
And I
I,
guess, she dating that young boy or that boy that
Timothy
everybody loves.
Chalamet.
They don't play about him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't care, and if she did, good, because I'm sorry, y'all. I don't care. I am the biggest Kardashian slash Jenner hater that there is. I don't get the hype. I don't care. I don't care about them. They are famous for being famous. They're rich just because they're rich. It's annoying. It's stupid. They plump their lips up with so much shit. They put so much crap in their ass and they take it off when they don't want it anymore. I'm so sick and tired of all of them. Maybe with the exception of Courtney, because Courtney don't or Chloe, because Chloe really don't be bothering nobody. No, Courtney, yeah. And I'm like, good. Yes, snub her again to me. Snub her again. Don't say shit to her because she's annoying and she stank. I'm over it. Sorry.
I be cracking up when I be in the airport and I be seeing the Kylie Cosmetics like machine, because she has a vending machine, but it's like it's always full. But anyway, that's another story for another day. You got anything else on the Golden Globes?
No, I mean, Wicked did end up going home with I think it was the award for box office achievement, which I think is a nice award. That's a newer award. It sort of is meant to go to films that do have like a big moment in pop culture. And I think it's important that we have that because yes, it's nice to have like the smaller films get recognized, and it's nice to have like, your little art house films, in indie films. That's great and dandy. But sometimes it's nice to just achieve that was a big ass movie and it united a lot of people. A lot of people went to the theater to see that. And I think that it's important that we keep that kind of stuff in mind because that's fun.
I'm gonna give you a little pushback just on what's the name of the award again?
I think it's a box office achievement. Let me look it up.
The only thing I don't like about that award, and that's just me being devil's advocate,
Yes, Golden Globe for
is,
cinematic and box office achievement. Yes.
I mean, isn't the real award if you achieve the top of the box office? Like, do you need an award for that?
Well,
Yeah.
yes, like yes, that's true. Like you will go down that year as having the biggest movie of that year, and that's always like a nice thing to be able to say. But I think in terms of like commemoration,
Okay.
there is very little that there is for films like that. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like an official commemoration of it. And I like that there is space, that they're holding space for movies that are the ones that unite us all, like get everybody to go back to the theater, like that we all are buying popcorn for. Like I think that's it's special to have that like that placeholder there to me.
But I mean, I get it, but I also feel like, isn't the placeholder like it's created its own placeholder because it will. But I hear what you're saying. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight.
No, I mean
Because
it is a bit gratuitous. Yes, it is a bit like patting yourself on the back. Yes, I agree, but I still enjoy
oh,
it.
listen, I'm here for it. Um, Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter,
May he rest in peace.
may he rest in peace. Um, I'll be honest. I don't really know much about the Carter presidency. I do know that I want to say, and this is just off of my own memory of school, was he the president? And I could be making this up, and I guess it is just a Google search away. But this is the one fact that I remember about Jimmy Carter from me being in school was like, didn't he put in the Department of Education or something? I just remember there was like a quiz that we did, and there was something with Jimmy Carter and like the Department of Education. Let me
Yes.
just
Says early in his term, Carter collaborated with Congress to fulfill his campaign promise to create a cabinet level education department. In an address from the White House on February 28th, 1978, Carter argued education is far too important a matter to be scattered piecemeal among various government departments and agencies, which are often busy with sometimes dominant concerns. On February 8th, 1979, the Carter administration released an outline of its plan to establish an education department and asserted enough support for the enactment to occur by June. On October 17th, the same year, Carter signed the Department of Education Organization Act into law, establishing the United States Department of Education.
shout out to Miss Willard's fourth grade class at C.W. Henry School because, yeah.
Yeah.
And how crazy is
And
that?
now
That
this current president is trying to get rid of it. It's crazy.
um, and so
He's not even fresh. He's not even, the body is still warm and he's starting to get rid of it. It's crazy.
my one takeaway from the Jimmy Carter homegoing service was that I was like, oh, okay. Even these big monumental funerals are just like, for me specifically, a black family funeral. Because if you have ever gone to a black family funeral, you will know that there is so much happening. So much happening. And again, I hate to make it seem like my family is like so ratchet, but
No, they
unfortunately I have
can.
been to a lot of funerals in my time, and I have seen a lot. I have seen fist fights. I have seen people jumping on the casket. I have seen two different funerals because the family can't. So I have just seen a lot, and so no, I'm being so serious. We have had two different funerals. Um, it was just crazy
No.
to see the snubbing, the like, just in these past years we have seen a lot of these still living presidents going at it, and not and more recently it gets nasty and contentious, and so to see them all there.
Yeah.
George, is it W. Bush? That's
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
his wife is
Barbara.
Barbara. That's
Mhm.
Barbara.
Wait. Yes.
Because I think it
Is it?
might be
Wait. Is it
Laura
Laura?
Bush. I think it might be Laura Bush.
Is Barbara the other Bush? The other
I
wife?
think
The other.
Barbara is. Hold on.
It's bad.
Okay. I think it's.
Yeah,
I think it's.
Barbara was HW's
Yeah,
wife.
yeah. Okay.
Laura is George's
First
wife.
of all, the level of shade that Miss Laura Bush. Okay. Although I'm on a road to a better Bryce, baby, if I don't like you, I'm giving you Laura Bush energy.
Yes.
Period. Okay. Because Miss Ma'am said, I need to get to my seat. I need to get to my seat.
She couldn't be bothered. She couldn't be
I
bothered.
need to get to my seat.
Mm-mm.
I also think, and of course, there's this big course of like, there's that big talk of like Obama and Trump communicating and talking, and it's like Obama is such a class act.
Yeah, he is. I mean, but you know, and there's a lot of like people that are saying, "Oh, that's so unprofessional." This, that, and the third. Like, how can you? Like, you're a former president. You need to be more becoming. He sucks, guys. He sucks. Like, I don't think y'all understand how much this man sucks. Like, and if you don't like him, you don't have to say hi. Like, if I don't like you and if we're beefing, why do I need to say hi? I don't need to be like, what did Sister's mom say on that track? You don't need to talk about me or treat me mean. I ain't got to treat you mean. Just step on and keep it moving. Like, and that's exactly what he did. So would a handshake have been nice? Sure. Am I mad that he didn't do it? No. Because Trump sucks. I cannot believe in less than a week or less than like 10 days we have to deal with this stuff again.
For 4 more years, maybe more. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. But what we gonna do? This is who? This is.
Oh my God. It's like every other day I forget about it. I forget that it's happening. And I'm like living in this like fantasy land of like, we're going to be okay. And then I remember. And then I remember that he won and that we have to do it again.
Yeah. Let me know when them grocery prices is gonna go down. Okay. Y'all let me know that. Because
if there's even grocery stores after this presidency, if we even have a country after this presidency, like
you gotta, you could book a trip to the Gulf of America if you need if you need a place to get away. Rest in peace, President Jimmy Carter. And other news, yes, rest in peace, Jimmy. And other news, this Tuesday, we're coming out Monday. This Tuesday, tomorrow, if you are listening, will be January 14th. Miss Beyonce, what you got for us? What you got? I mean, it's very clear that I just feel like it's going to be a Cowboy Carter tour. That's what I believe. However,
I believe as well.
I do believe, because all of the think tanks, because like, okay, for all of y'all people that, and this is another topic that you and I didn't get to talk about, Amon, was Beyonce got artist or performer or entertainer of the century.
Yes, she did.
And people was mad. They was mad.
And they can stay mad. Stay mad, bitch. Stay mad.
Now, here's the thing. I love Swiftie. I love whatever. However, I just crack up when people would like play a B performance and then play a Tay performance. And then it's just like, I don't.
It is night and day.
But
it is water and fire, baby. It is oil and water.
For y'all to say that she not relevant, she not this. Well, baby, she's kept us alive since Christmas. Because tell me what artist you know that can create this much discourse in the music industry today about music, and I did a whole podcast on the Beyonce Bowl, the symbolism. Like, tell me what art, and again, I know there are a lot of other artists that are not as big doing that. However, for her to be on the level that she is on and still paving a way, like, whoo, it gives me chills. But she dropped this 114 and we are all waiting. Now, selfishly, I low-key wanted to be Act 3 because I keep saying it and I keep saying it and I keep saying it because I feel like if we get Act 3 now, because she definitely is touring this summer. I feel like maybe this tour could be Act 2 and Act 3. And I want that to hurry up because I need for these acts to get done so that we can get back to business and we can get this Destiny's Child reunion album. And I have figured it out that I believe Destiny's Child is going to come back because I believe like this year was like Destiny's Child 27th anniversary. And I feel like they'll come back on the 30th anniversary. So it's like, okay, this tour will take another year. That's 28. They'll work on the album. But like, so selfishly, I really wanted to be Act 3. Give us Act 3. We have until the summer to get information, and she could do Cowboy Carter at Act 3. However, Ticketmaster, maybe too, because mind you, I watched the think tanks. Okay. I watched the think tanks. Ticketmaster took the Renaissance emblem down under the Beyonce name. On the Christmas Day performance, she gave us nothing but Cowboy Carter. Beyonce said it takes a year to from the start of it to like to get a tour. Miss Mama's Cowboy Carter came out a year ago. Like, it just is like, it's everything in line. So
Live Nation reposted her Instagram post.
So I'm just saying, I got my coins ready. I have started.
I just got to raise at work. It came right in time. You know, it might not come when you need it, but it comes right on time.
I have been looking at inspirations for a potential tour this summer. So
when I tell you that I am,
and I'm
going to
just
get
say
my
this.
body right this winter because I'm going to be wearing assless chaps.
Okay, Aman, we want Aman. Aman.
There will be no ass on those chaps. Okay,
Aman, we are on the same page because my clappers will be out. Period.
They will be out.
The clappers will be out. Okay, and I'm here for it. So obviously, I guess it's safe to say that you think it's going to be a tour. So I think it's a tour. Period. Like, it's just that I mean, but I low key. Obviously, I'll give you my reasons why. I would love it to be Act 3. However, I would love it to be something else, though, only because I feel like a tour would be so predictable. Like, I feel like being, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's...
It could be a residency somewhere. It doesn't have to be a tour.
And that's another think tank said in Vegas at the Sphere, she could be doing a residency. And again, giving it more rodeo-esque, that would kind of seem to sit. And mind you, Miss Mamas, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I mean, back in that Super Bowl commercial before she dropped Cowboy or Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, she was on top of that Sphere. So.
I can head to.
I've never been to Vegas. Okay, I have never been to Vegas. If I'm going for the first time, it will be because of Beyonce knows Carter. Okay,
so I would love it if it was that, right? Like, because I just like, a tour, whatever. And I also just feel like when I went to the Renaissance tour and I saw Beyonce, and that tour was huge. And I will say that, like, she did work the whole stage, but she did centralize a lot of the stage. And it's like Beyonce is getting older, like, so I think a residency might be easier for her family than like whatever it is.
Yep.
We will be tuned and listened.
Somebody also suggested maybe it could be like a festival type deal. which, oh my God.
And I do believe another thing that somebody was saying, like, the Chitlin circuit that they were talking about,
Yep.
the Betty Black World Tour, the Houston Rodeo. I definitely believe that if it were a festival, I just love the fact that Tanner Adele, Shabuzi, like all of the, like, it's so at this point, I'm tired of thinking. I really am. I'm tired of thinking. I'm tired of watching these people tell me what they think it is. And it's like, Beyonce, drop it at midnight. Like, let's not like drop.
Yeah, you said 114. It's 114. Okay.
Drop it at midnight. Stop playing, because I don't feel like, because I definitely will be up. So I will be like, let us know what y'all think. But listen, we're gonna find out tomorrow. So we don't you don't got to let us know.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Cause like, thank God, because like she's gonna keep my spirits up, because we know
Right?
what's coming on the 20th. So
right.
Just can't wait. I cannot
And
wait for this.
I definitely think that was purposeful too.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think it's like she is giving us hope. She is giving us something to look forward to in the midst of our storm. But it's been a while, but that has been your casual tea. Aman and I will commit to being better, doing better,
Yes.
and you will absolutely see us in February. Before we go, first of all, so good to have you back and to see you and talk to you, Aman. What you got going on? I know you and Beth over there is doing Drag Race.
Yes. Drag Race season 17, baby. It is now back. So yes, you can check out me, Liana, and Beth over there at We Know Reality TV /Drag Race, I believe. And I have my podcast with Matt Lagori. It's called The Diary Room, where it's a bracket style podcast. We get 6 players that come in, 3 players that will survive, and then we're just whittling it down until we get to the best Big Brother player, whatever that ends up meaning. We've also had like a few alumni on the show, quite a few unitors. We've had Taylor Hale on the show. We've had Andy Heron on the show. We've had Kevin Jacobs of BB Can fame on the show. We are going to be having Josh Martinez, if it isn't already out already. My favorite too. So that's really exciting. So make sure that you check us out over there. And that's it for me.
Perfect. Well, this has been your Purple Pants Casual Tea for the month of January 2025. We will see you soon. We are out. Yeah. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.